They say that home is where the heart is, but it's also a place for creativity, design, decor, renovation, entertaining, and a cozy spot for showcasing our personalities to those we invite inside. I'm Casey Savage, and this is The Nest, your destination for all things home, decor, and lifestyle. So grab a tea, a coffee, maybe even a glass of champagne, and get comfy, because today we've got the experts, the tips, and all the advice you need to create your best nest. Okay, well, we all know that the inside of our home is where we put most of our attention when it comes to design and decor, but did you know that the outside of your home in terms of landscaping is supposed to also reflect your style? This I did not know, which explains a lot. When you see the outside of my house, not so hot. But thankfully, we have Carrie McPhee here. She is from McPhee Maintenance and Construction and Tree Farm, and she knows your stuff. Thank goodness you're here to help us. It's so nice to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so many times you see people, and you know this because I know you're a home decor enthusiast as well.
Yes.
You see people put all their emphasis on the inside of their home. Maybe they like transitional style or modern, or maybe something that is really traditional. But what about the outside of your home? I mean, I've been the type of person where you go to the nursery, if you like it, you buy it, you plant it. I didn't realize it should also fit and match your own personal style in the outside of your home as well.
Absolutely it should, because if you, let's say for instance, you have a modern home. Modern homes have clean lines on the outside. They're very square, lots of angles, and that reflects in the gardens as well. And if you put something like a hydrangea, or lots of grasses or black-eyed Susans or something like that, on the outside it's not going to reflect your style of your home. And if you've got a modern home, it's obviously going to be modern on the inside. All the furnishings will be modern. They just don't match. They don't mesh. So in terms of traditional homes, country homes, rustic cottages, anything like that, and anything that shows your style outside and inside should also reflect in your gardens.
So for sure your garden on the outside should reflect the design of your home, because I know for a lot of people, they buy their house, it's a style on the outside. Maybe they change the style on the inside, but the inside should not match the outside. The outside landscaping, you're saying, should match the design of your home.
The design of your home, but also your taste too. It's so personal, and so there's so many different variations of style per se. So like transitional, you speak of transitional, that's it's a combination of new and old. It could be a combination of modern and traditional, or throw in a little bit of rustic or casual or formal. There's so many different types and styles of gardens, but it should, even if your home on the outside has not changed and your home on the inside has changed, again, that's transitional. Maybe you have updated all of your furnishings, updated your kitchen, or updated your tiles, and say you've gone to more of a modern feel inside your home. Well, you can easily do that outside with your landscaping as well.
So let me ask you this then, because right now everyone's looking at their black-eyed Susans going, oops.
Oops.
What style home do black-eyed Susans go well with? Because like where do we start, for example? So let's say, as most people locally have, you have a 25-year-old home. It's, nothing unique or spectacular, kind of cookie cutter, and it's got that, 90s brick to it. And there's I don't even know what style you would call that type of home. But what do you recommend? Where could people start to figure out the style of their home, and then heading to their garden center and seeking out the right items?
I would start with, maybe take some pictures, take some photos of the outside of your home. Take some photos of your existing garden, and search the net. Search the net. Google Images. I mean, you can find anything on Google Images, and just, maybe then take those pictures to a nursery and go have a look at the styles of plants that you like, because again, it's personal style as well. It's not, you know, your personal taste. It's not necessarily a rule of thumb that you have to follow all these, you know, separate rules for being a modern garden, being an, you know, unless you want a type of garden like an English garden.
Right.
But if you want black-eyed Susans out in front of your house, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But there's a way to control how you plant it, and there's a way to keep it, you know, maybe a little more formal for the outside of your home, as opposed to having more of a casual garden with grasses all around it. But that's the first step I would take, is to go to the nursery, take your pictures, walk around, have a look at the plants that you like, and then compile them together with everything that you have, and perhaps talk to a professional.
A professional, that's the key. So if you happen to have, for example, off the top of your head, if you have a traditional home, what are 2 or 3 automatics that you visualize for a garden when you have a traditional home?
Traditional home, I would look at maybe doing some border with boxwood. And again, boxwood is, I mean, it could be anything. It could be a formal, it could be, you could not trim it, it could be a, you know, more casual, rustic type plant. You can do anything with a boxwood, but the main thing is to keep some winter interest, I think, in your garden as well. So boxwood is a broadleaf evergreen, so that would, you know, it would stay green all winter, as opposed to if you had, you know, your garden filled with perennials and there's nothing to look at in the winter time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would, boxwoods are well, probably, you know, one of the most popular.
And what I'm hearing from you as well is step 1, you need a plan. Hence why we talked to Carrie McPhee.
You definitely need a plan.
Carrie, thank you so much for telling us this. Coming up after the break, we are going to have some more expert information for you on what to do with the exterior of your home. Brick, stone, wood, so many options.
Does it just continue? Lord, if you
Welcome back. You know, we just talked about landscaping to suit the style of your home, right, on the outside. Not only thinking about the inside of your home, but the outside. So keeping with the outside theme, let's talk about the different types of exteriors for homes. Maybe you're looking to change the exterior of your home, or maybe you're just building from scratch. Well, here's the guy with all the answers. It's David Butler from Allaire Homes in Aurora and Newmarket. Now, David, you have the answers to basically every question that there is.
We like to think so.
Besides homes, we've had lots of discussions.
Yep.
You're a pretty smart guy. What about exteriors of homes? Because you do tons of new builds,
Yep.
right from the ground up. What are we seeing when it comes to materials for the exterior of our home?
Yeah, good question. You're seeing a lot of brick and stone mixes, and then even in the stone, you have a natural stone and then a manufactured stone. But there's still people using a lot of wood siding, which looks great. I'm a big fan of that.
I'm not seeing any vinyl here.
No, vinyl, people still use it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's more on the budget end. But when you're talking custom homes, you're talking richer, higher features like natural stone, brick, stucco, and some wood siding. And then there are even some more exotic things where you're into full glass windows.
Ooh, wow.
Or metal architectural panels.
Sounds pricey.
It is expensive, yeah. There's a wide range of products that vary in price a fair bit. So
I see lots of homes that are primarily brick. Is that because brick is the most affordable in terms of what you've brought in here?
No, brick is good. It's one of the most durable products. It's got a decent price point. It's similar to wood siding, but it's very traditional, and it's you know, you can never go wrong with brick. So a lot of people like that. Yeah.
You can never go wrong with brick. Well, you know, as great as brick is, my house happens to be peach brick, so I'm not a fan of it. However, we are seeing lots of stone. I know you're working on a ton of different homes, and I don't even know how you have time to be here, to be quite honest with you. But we've got some images of some homes that you've been working on, and I know that you can walk us through some of those, because this house, for example, I mean, I can't even, that's not siding, but what is that?
No, that's a wood siding, and it's a beautiful product. It lasts You'd be surprised. It's not like the old wood siding. You're going to get 15 to 20 years out of that product before you have to refinish it.
Oh, okay, that's good to know. I'm picturing, homeowner out there with the roller, a year from now.
No, not anymore. They're getting factory finished and treated. It's going to last 15 to 20 years. It depends on the environment. Southern-facing walls are going to be more exposed to the sun. You do have to be mindful of birds or bugs getting into the wood. But all products have a little bit of regular maintenance. So
yeah, no matter what, there's going to be maintenance. What about this house here? This looks really modern. Is it a mix of materials?
Yeah, this is a flat roof design. It is all stucco, and it's very modern. And then this also incorporates lots of large windows and large openings. It's a great looking solution. A very strong contrast with sharp edges. Here's another example of a full stucco exterior finish with a covered porch, stone steps. It's got a strong contrast between the dark windows, which is very popular right now, and the lighter shades on the wall stucco.
I'm also noticing the landscaping on that one we just saw.
Yeah.
Fits with what Carrie was describing about how you have to have, modern landscaping to suit your modern exterior. Now this is the opposite of modern. We're seeing so much of this style in this must be one of your most popular designs that you're being asked to.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites. A little more traditional. It is a stone siding, a stone skirt with wood siding above. A little more typical country setting with a nice covered porch. This one we're still under construction. It's not quite finished, but we're going to have a nice. The columns will be all trimmed out there in white to look really nice and match the rest of the white trim on the house.
So what's the difference between stone and stone veneer? Because my neighbors, for example, had 1990s brick on their house and now suddenly it's stone. So I'm guessing, so this is stone, this is natural stone?
This is natural stone. Like if you look at this piece here, look at the depth and character of this one here, the different types of grains in that. Same thing with this one here. So there's two things you can do. There is a full stone like this or a bit thicker that sits right on a brick ledge of your house.
Yeah.
That's where you're taking the old stone off and putting a new stone on. When you think of a thin stone veneer, that's where you're putting some sort of an external board that is going to support the stone, and it adheres or screws to that on the exterior. But you don't need a brick ledge, so it's good for some retrofitting.
So that's really good to know. Okay, David, a wealth of knowledge. As always, just the tip of the iceberg. There's just so much with you that man of mystery, really. What we're going to do is, though, we are going to take a quick break, and coming up in just a few, Jacqueline Kovacs, editor of York Life magazine, is here, and she's got the Love It list. All those hot items coming your way in just a sec. Okay, it is the Love It list. This is where Jacqueline Kovacs, Jackie if we may, the editor of York Life magazine, does all the shopping for us so we don't have to leave our homes. She finds all the hot finds at great local stores and tells us all about it. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
You've been a busy shopper, haven't you?
I have indeed.
I know, and I'm looking right here at this gorgeous tray, and right off the top, tell us where you went shopping.
Oh, all of the items today are from Designline Studios in Aurora.
Designline Studios in Aurora. Okay, now I'm seeing gold. I finally just had my house 100% decked out in silver tones.
Yeah.
And now I hear bad news.
Well, it's not exactly bad news. It's not exactly bad news because, yes, there was this kind of brushed nickel industrial thing going on, and it's still okay,
Oh,
I promise.
all right.
But what we're seeing now, and what has been trending for a while, are these warm gold and bronzy tones, such as this gorgeous mirror. And this is an easy way to add just a little touch of warmth and on-trend look. You can move this around, whatever.
Super glam.
Exactly, and it's like $189. It's quite affordable.
Check
and
this.
See, that remote looks better already.
This remote control had no pizzazz, and now it looks gorgeous on this mirrored tray. Love that also I'm hearing a lot about mixing metals. I think that's to make people that have heavily invested in silver tones feel better.
Yeah, in fact, if you do mix it up, you actually would be considered cutting edge.
Ooh,
Yes.
you know what? No one's ever described me as that. I like it. Okay, how about we scoot this out of the way?
right.
And then I'm going to do the heavy lifting for you.
Thank you. Be
Oh,
careful.
actually, when I say heavy lifting, I'm not kidding. There's a lot of heft to this.
Yeah.
What are we looking at?
This is a little tri-metal martini table. Now, these guys were huge in like the 20s when it was, you sit and have your drink or your cigar. It's also called a cigar table. And you can move them around, and then everyone has their own little individual place
it.
to stick their drink. And again, because it's little and portable, you can pop it into, your living room, your family room, and you've
Anywhere.
got that little, got that little hit of metal that's on trend. It's also, handy.
I'm just glad I finally have found a spot where I can fit both my martini and cigar.
Well, you're well known.
Because that was a problem for me
Like
before.
$355, pretty easy, investment.
gorgeous.
And it's not going to date on you, even if we go back to silvers.
Okay, check. This actually, I know this is gold tone, but in
Yes.
certain lights, this reads a little bit nickely as both.
Antiqued silver is how it's described, and it's an equilateral sculpture from Vancouver. And I
Beautiful.
mean, it looks like it might weigh a ton, but in fact,
No, it's
show
actually,
us.
yeah, I was going to pretend that I had to, flex my abs to lift this,
Yeah.
but it's very lightweight and gorgeous. And you were saying earlier when we were talking that this is perfect for anyone who has a grand home that needs some larger accessories to bring it up to scale.
Exactly. You could pop it by your fireplace, but if you had sort of one of those sweeping great rooms with a big table, it could go there, or on a big sideboard. If you've got a little alcove area, pop it there. And it's just pretty, and it's a little piece of art, and as I say, on trend, and probably not going to date on you anyway, because it's actually got all your colors.
Love it. Structural, beautiful, gorgeous. It has it all. Okay. This is why we call it the Love It list,
Yes.
because we love it, right?
love it.
This is awesome. Okay, so thank you so much, Jackie,
my
for
pleasure.
coming in here and bringing us all these amazing items. We're going to take a quick break, but coming up after the break, actually don't go anywhere, because our panel of pros are back to answer your viewer questions about design and decor. And don't forget to visit our Facebook page, The Nest with Casey Savage. Share your design dilemmas, and our pros will answer your questions right after this. I love this. I love that it's lightweight.
Yeah, isn't it amazing? Put it anywhere. Suddenly
Yeah.
you're like edgy.
I could even take like a candle and put that. Okay, this is the last part of our show where we put together all of our pros and we put a question to them. Your design questions, don't forget on Facebook, The Nest with Casey Savage. You can post your pictures, ask your questions. So here's our design dilemma of the day. We've got Carrie McPhee, who's going to be helping us out from McPhee Maintenance, Construction, and Tree Farm. We've got David Butler. He is here of Allaire Homes, Aurora Newmarket, and Jacqueline Kovacs, editor of York Life magazine. So guys, here is our issue, and so many people have this exact same dilemma going on with them. So a viewer sent in a photo of a home. It's a 1991 home, and we're gonna see it in just one sec. It's got a peachy brick tone to it. So the peachy brick tone is something that so many, might have been hot in the 90s, maybe not necessarily hot anymore, but so many homeowners are thinking, what can I do with a house that has this dated facade? So in terms of garden, if you're talking about a salmon toned brick home from the 90s, we talked in at the start of the show about what you can do landscape wise, besides covering the house in black-eyed Susans to hide it. What is your advice?
I would start with, as I mentioned with the boxwoods, some type of evergreen. You're going to keep the winter interest that way, and have a feature tree. Have a feature tree.
A large one.
A large one to draw away from the peachy tone brick.
Yeah.
And something to soften it up. Obviously you can change the color of your garage door, your front door, etc. But I would keep things simple and maybe not have too much color if you're not going to be changing the exterior color.
That's a great idea. So in other words, if you're going to add a focal point, make it a large tree so
Large
that
tree.
people, passers-by, might say, what a gorgeous
What a beautiful
evergreen.
tree.
Instead of, oh my gosh, look at the salmon colored brick on the house.
Yes.
And David, of course there has to be, because I see it happening all the time around my own neighborhood,
Yep.
there has to be an affordable way to tinker with the exterior, and if not completely recover the front with a stonework, at least partially mix in some other material.
Yeah, there's two things you can do. There you can paint the existing brick into a different color. It's going to end up being all one color, but then add some sort of a feature wall or a covered porch out front that has got some stone exterior cladding, and that's going to draw the eye to that, and then use the painted brick as your backdrop. And that's going to be your simplest, most cost effective. The other option is to take it all down and put something new on that's more appealing to today's what's in style and what works, whether it's a stone brick mix or a stucco, or maybe a stone and siding. It really depends on what your personal taste is.
Now I'm seeing a lot of people do literally just the front, hoping no one sees the sides. And thankfully in a lot of developments, the homes are so close together, nobody sees the side of the house. But what would your recommendation be? A bit of the sides, full house?
Yeah,
front?
the best option always is to do the full house, but everybody's always limited by budget, obviously. So as an option, you can do, we call it, tuck it back 2 feet on the sides. It depends on the orientation. If you're a corner lot, you're not going to get away with that.
Yeah.
That can be a big problem. But if you're tight to your neighbors, like some of the more modern homes are today, then you can get away with it. It really depends on your budget.
Or a
but,
corner lot, you get some big trees on the side.
Yeah.
Very large trees, mature trees.
Carrie has a gorgeous house, by the way, and many mature trees. So I can't even get a full look at your
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
Jackie, what would be your tips? I know we talk a lot with you about interior, but surely I know that you live in a neighborhood. How old's your neighborhood?
Wow.
15
years old, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe people haven't started recovering the exteriors of their homes yet with a different material, but what do you think?
Well, we actually are, to echo Carrie's point, we actually are seeing people make that front door kind of a focal point with a color, and maybe there's a color that can offset peachy salmon. The other thing to think about is our great big beautiful planters, and making those to catch the eye, draw the eye that way, or hanging baskets, that kind of thing. But you can do planters year round, changing it up to suit the season. So that would be one way to kind of distract,
take the eye elsewhere.
Yeah.
And David, just finally, I'm thinking about your own industry. Surely you're driving around from time to time and you think, what happened? Because there have to be some major no-nos when it comes to resurfacing or refinishing the exterior of your home. What are some of the please do nots that you would like to remind people of?
One of my first suggestions would be, it all starts with the design. So work with a good designer. Take a look at what they've done in the past. Try to understand what your theme is. Are you going for something modern, traditional? And understand what theme you want. Work with a good designer and make sure you're using quality products. And people can typically see if you're using an indoor product outside that's not suiting, that you can pick that up from the street pretty quickly, and it's not going to last as well.
Yeah, probably another tip is don't keep your Christmas lights up 12 months of the year in the hopes no one will notice you have salmon colored brick.
Yeah.
I see Carrie going, oh. And I'm guessing you talked about right out of the gates painting the exterior of your home.
Yep.
I'm thinking this isn't a DIY project. This is also something you call the pros in for.
Yeah, much like hiring a good designer is always work with a good contractor or a general contractor. Check their references, make sure you're hiring the right person, and that's imperative. You don't want to be going out there with a can of the wrong paint and a brush and trying to do it yourself to figure out that you're using the wrong product and applying it in the wrong way. So, yeah.
So the good news for this salmon colored bricked homeowner, might be myself, is that there are options out there. Okay, I hope you feel inspired by today's show, and maybe it's a fresh coat of paint on the outside, some decluttering, or a carload full of home accents from that amazing local home store. It's about creating your best Nest. Thank you so much to you guys, the experts. And until next week, don't forget to visit our Facebook page, The Nest with Casey Savage. Share your tips, pictures of your nest, or any local hot finds. We love sharing. Sharing's caring. And you can also reach out directly to our pros. We will see you again soon.